Well, welcome back to day 4 of our challenge. Have you ever wondered how to get people to stop and actually want to read your posts, your content? Today, we're going to be talking about how to stop the scroll. With so much content that is on social media and, well, the behaviors of people in general, where they just keep, going like this through their feed. What is it going to take for it to catch their attention and go, "Oh, this looks interesting. I want to read more about this, or I want to watch the video," whatever the case may be. So before we get into that, I just want to do a quick overview of the previous 3 videos that I have shared with you. The challenge from days 1, 2, and 3. So in day 1 challenge, I shared with you how to go about choosing a digital product, that you want to focus on trying to find a product that has master resale rights, because that is the only way that you are going to be able to make 100% profit on every product you sell. Then our second challenge video was about automation. When you set up an automation system, it works for you 24/7. Doesn't matter what you're doing, it's still working for you. And this is also how it makes it possible for you to do a business in a 2-hour workday. Now, the third challenge video that we went over is discovery. How do you get you and your business and your brand discovered? Because if nobody knows about you, well, it's going to be really difficult to get any customers. So you need to learn how to effectively market your business and market yourself and your brand. And this whole process is taught in our program. So now I want to share with you why you need to know who your ideal or perfect customer is and why that is important. If you've been in business for a while, you may have heard this phrase: if you try to talk to everyone, you're reaching nobody. Because you can't relate to everyone, to every possible situation that's out there. So when you know exactly who it is you want to speak to, it's going to make it so much easier to create content, rather than trying to say, "Oh, well, one day I'm going to try and talk about this topic, and then this other day I'm going to focus on this other topic because this other group might be interested in that," and then this third day I'm going to try and talk about this topic because this third group might be interested in that. Well, that's not really going to connect very well, because nobody is going to really feel like you are talking to them. So being able to to know your perfect customer and connect with them, you need to be relatable. So being relatable means, to me, it means bringing you into the conversation, bringing what is personal to you into the conversation. This is not, I don't mean like, oh, sharing what you had for dinner the other night or things like that. You know, I'm talking about those things that are really important to you. What matters to you? What are your values? What do you stand for? That's what I mean by bringing your personality and who you are into the conversation. And this can be done through personal posts where that's all it focuses on, but that also, that aspect can also be brought into your business posts and content. So share with your perfect customer your why. Whatever product or program, digital product or program that you have chosen to invest in, think back and ask yourself, well, why did I choose this? What did I like about it? What did I feel like it could change for me or solve a certain challenge or problem or whatever? So let's say you decided to invest in a health course. Maybe it's a course about a particular diet or a particular way of eating. Your reason for choosing to invest in that program might be because you don't feel maybe very healthy at that moment. You want to have more vitality, more energy. And, maybe deeper down, it could be that, well, maybe you have children and young children and you are getting tired too quickly and you want to be able to have the energy to engage with your children. So that could be like a reason why you choose to get into that program. So whatever it is for you, whatever product or program it is that you are considering or have already invested in, really dig down deep and ask yourself, what is my why? And sometimes this could involve doing some journaling. If you only spend 5 minutes on it, you're only probably going to get at the surface. So I know this is something that I still need to do. I need to dig down into that deeper why. So, you ask yourself why, you come up with an answer. And then whatever that answer is, ask yourself why about that and just keep delving in further and further. So when you know your perfect customer completely, you're going to be able to speak to any problems or challenges they might be experiencing. So have you figured out who your perfect customer is? Maybe it's you. Have you figured out what your perfect customer struggles and challenges are? What are they dealing with? What do they want solutions for? How can you get them from point A to point B? You also want to create content that is going to pique their curiosity. So until you know who your perfect customer is, you're not really going to have a clear idea of what is going to pique their curiosity. And by piquing their curiosity, you want them to lean in. You want them to become just really, really curious and be like, I want to know more about this. This sounds really interesting. And, most social media posts only show maybe 2 or 3 lines of the post. And then they have to click on that more button or the 3 dots or whatever it is in order to be able to read the rest of the post. So if those first couple of lines don't grab them, they're not going to bother looking at the rest of it. Image graphics can also play a part in that as well to help grab their attention. And if it's a video, you want to have your content be in such a way that they are going to want to click on your video to see what you have to say. So stopping the scroll as well is involving having a CTA, call to action. You want each post or each piece of content, but we're focusing mostly on social media here. So you want each post to ask your ideal customer, your perfect customer, to take some kind of action. What do you want them to do? Do you want them to follow you? Do you want them to click on a link? Do you want them to ask you questions? Do you want them to maybe share experiences? Or, maybe in the sense of a poll, you can gather more information about them. So when we want to stop the scroll, like I said, it's really important to know who your perfect customer is. What are their wants? What are their needs? What are their desires? What is their average age? Do they have children or do they not have children? Do they have pets? What kind of interests do they have? Do they like to do yoga? Do they like to go hiking? Do they want to be in nature or do they like to play video games? So, that's where you have to figure out who your perfect customer is, because that's what you're going to be speaking to. If it's someone who loves nature and yoga, then creating content that is related to that is more likely going to encourage interest, especially if you can connect that with the business side. So figure out all the details about them. This is going to make your content so much easier to create. Now, here's an analogy for you. You've just started at a brand new job and you don't know anyone. For most people, this is going to feel really awkward because when you don't know anyone, it's challenging to have a conversation with them, right? Now, I know there's some really outgoing people out there that you guys can talk to anyone. It doesn't matter. You can talk to a stranger in the street and you'll be like, have no problems with that. But even still, in those cases, the conversation's still going to be pretty superficial because you don't know anything about the other person. So you want to get past that superficialness and start being able to have deeper conversations to really start to connect with people. You're no different. Your perfect customer is no different. So another way to help to stop the scroll is to use hooks or questions. So hooks can be a statement or a question, but basically it's something that is going to grab attention. That is what a hook is. So here's a few examples of hooks. Are you tired of missing your kids' important moments because of work? Have you ever wondered if it's really possible to make a full-time income with just a few hours of work a day? Do you dream of financial freedom, but you feel trapped in that 9-to-5 grind? What if you could build a successful online business without any prior tech skills or without actually needing to be tech savvy? Would you give it a try? Now, with ChatGPT and these other AI platforms now being a part of our world, these platforms can be so amazingly helpful to us. I know there are some people who hate the idea of AI, but there's always pros and cons to everything. And this is where AI can really, really support you. Now, with the advances in AI, it has gone to the point where you can now start to train ChatGPT or whichever platform to remember what you have told them in previous conversations. Well, I mean, you're not training them to remember because that's already programmed in, but now they have that ability to remember what you've told them. So you don't have to keep repeating and giving all these details every single time. So once ChatGPT becomes familiar with who your perfect customer is and what exactly your business is, then you can more easily ask questions like create a hook. You probably have to go be a little bit more specific than that, but basically you're asking to create a hook that is going to speak to your perfect customer. And you want to say where you're going to use it, whether it's in a social media post or a blog or whatever the case might be. And the results can be phenomenal. And if you haven't trained ChatGPT, then you just have to keep feeding information. And you can have a conversation just as though you were having a conversation with a real person, where you just, if you didn't get quite the results you were looking for, then you just tweak it a little bit and say, oh, well, actually, I'd like to revise it. And I want to add or remove this, that, or the other thing, or change it, or whatever the case may be. So this is how you stop the scroll. This is how you engage with and connect with your perfect customer. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments and I will answer them as soon as I'm able to. And as I said before, I am looking forward to being able to support you on your journey, whatever journey that might be in the digital product marketing world. So don't forget to watch for tomorrow's video, which is day 5 of the challenge. And we're going to be focusing on getting new customers. Until then, bye for now.